This video is sponsored by Cohen Financial. More on them later. Have you ever seen a property with its legs open? In today's episode, we're going to review 1410 Tanager Way. It's got 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 14,000 square foot of living space. It's listed for $34 million. That puts it at around $2,428 a foot. Now, if you're new to the channel, I first tell you 3 things I like, 3 things I don't like about it, then how I would have marketed it differently. And then at the end of the video, I'll tell you guys how much this zip code has actually crashed since its peak and how much it's forecasted to crash farther down with artificial intelligence tool called ZipSmart. Okay, let's get started. 3 things I like about this property. Scale, no surprise here. It's brand new construction. They got the ceiling heights right, the dimensions right. I'm very, very happy with that. Number 2, finishes. Very up to par with what's expected in the ultra high end. It's very nice, surprisingly very warm, very earthy. I've walked this property. It's great quality. And they've actually tried to do a lot of different stuff with the swimming pool and everything, which I appreciate. It's tough to do this type of work above the hills, you know, with all the foundation work that you have to do. So it's quite impressive. Now, the number 1 thing I love about this property is the views. You get views from every single angle in this house, which is amazing. And it kind of looks like its legs are open because, you know, it wants to capture that view, right? It wants that view to come in. But it's beautiful because you got, you know, places where you can walk out, all the rooms, sliding doors and pocket doors where you can walk out of the property. So you definitely have that indoor-outdoor flow, and you have a gorgeous downtown LA view. It's quite wide, and I really appreciate that. Now, before I tell you 3 things I don't like about it, you should know that when I want to get a loan, I call Mark Cohen because he tells me if he has the best rate, and when he doesn't, he introduces me to someone who does, and that way, I always get the best rate. Here's his phone number. Tell him Arvin I sent you. Now, 3 things I don't like about the property. Privacy. Now you're thinking, legs open and no privacy? Exactly. Legs open, great to capture the view, but if someone else is looking from across the hill, that's a negative, and that's why it's my number 3. Now, number 2 is the fact that this house is an upside down. I've talked a lot about upside down houses. I think it's been the biggest hack with the developers trying to buy these really subpar lots and developing these mega mansions on it, you know, and people fall for this and they pay a lot of money for it. At least they did in the beginning, and that is a big negative because it showcases that this property lot was never that good. You enter from the top, you have to take the stairs down to get to the other living areas in the house, and that's just a negative. Now, the number 1 thing I don't like about this property, by the way, if you wonder how I know this stuff, I'm a luxury real estate agent in LA. I sell from Sherwood Country Club to Studio City, from Malibu to Los Feliz. I cover it all. You can reach out to me, Arvin at arvinhedot.com. And if you don't live in LA, I can still help you consult, find the right real estate agent, monitor their work and all that jazz. Okay, the number 1 thing I don't like about this property, the layout. Look, I've walked this property and I can tell you, the whole leg open design is not really working. Why? First of all, the bedrooms are all the way on the other side of the property. It's a stretch. You have to go across the mountain to the other side to get into your bedroom. The second thing is the fact that the upper floor living area and the lower floor living area was like identical to each other, and it was very redundant. I just didn't find that design really appealing because what would be the benefit of hanging out upstairs as to downstairs? I just didn't get that, right? To me, it just didn't feel good. The other problem is the fact that these long rooms, they just don't have any dividers in between them. With the windows open, there's just no energy sticking in. It just felt very exposed, and it just really lacked that coziness or any sense of a home. I personally thought it would be a fantastic house to have a massive party at, but to live, it's just not for me. Now, before I tell you guys how much this zip code has crashed and how much it's forecasted to crash, let me tell you guys how I would have marketed this property differently. Look, I'm not a big fan of the first photo. You're showing 50% of the deck and not the house, and to me, that's just a negative. And the second element is the price. I just think strategically, it's a massive mistake to price these properties high where we are today. The interest rates are high. The market, we know it's going down. And also, the fact that the mansion tax is going to kick in, it's an extra 5% of tax to the seller. You want to be on the money. You want to capture that buyer that is looking, get that good deal, exit, liquidate your asset, and get out of the way. Okay, let's see how much this zip code has already crashed. According to Zillow, this zip code has already come down by 2.4% since its peak, and it's forecasted to drop another 4.6% by April. And when you look at the supply, it's up 20%. It's not the worst, but it's still pretty high. What's worse is the demand. It's down 66%, which is just horrible, right? But I also really like these metrics below because they help you validate the forecast itself. And the number one that just jumps out at me is the owner occupancy rate. This is really low. And to me, it's a red flag. Why? Because it shows that there's a lot of second home and vacation homes in this area. And when shit hits the fan, the number one thing people sell is their vacation home before they have to sell their primary residence. Now, I would love to make this tool available to you guys, but I can't. I don't have enough subscribers or watch time to have membership where you can come join, and I can make a version of this available to you guys and do live streams and go over the houses that you're looking to purchase. We can do all that stuff. If I get more subscribers and watch time goes up, then YouTube allows me to have membership. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And maybe later on in a month or so, we can have live streams and we can have property analysis. You can bring your properties, ask questions, and I can help you guys using artificial intelligence tool during the housing crash that is about to come. I think it will be very useful to you guys, okay? And if you like this house, you will probably also like this property. And you got to remember, the content of this video is purely my personal opinion. Real estate analysis is subjective in nature. Tell me in the comments below if you agree with my strategy or if you think there's other reasons why this property hasn't sold. I would love to hear that. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.